Hey guys, this is Aegis, and it's time for a study break. So here's a game between Nova and Isis. Well, this is Atlas 1. Isis is playing on this account, and it is a diamond level game. Of course, Isis is not Grandmaster. He wishes though, I bet. He is High Masters. So he's playing Terran over here against a diamond Protoss player, and basically, I was standing behind him this game, and I told him that the only unit that he should make, aside from a couple of units to stay alive at the beginning, is a ghost. So essentially, he's playing a mono battle. He's going to be walling off the front over here. And let's take a look at APM tab. So we do see about the same thing for both players, actually. Well, the average is a lot higher for our Terran player, but in any case, we'll go back to the production tab, and over here, our Protoss player is walling off with his first pylon. Generally, I don't like Protoss players to wall off against Terran. It's not good because Marauders can just stand over here and kill off your buildings at the front, but Nova is going to decide to wall that off. Out over here, Isis is going to be throwing up his first barracks. Probe will get in here and perhaps do some harassment. Looks like Noah will go on a patrol, and there's the SCV immediately chasing after the probe just to make sure. And over here, the first gas is also on the way, knowing that he has to go into ghosts sooner or later. And over here, Nova is going to be throwing up his first gas. And Gateway coming up at the front. He's going to need that second pylon. And he's also not chrono boosting, and there's a little lapse in probe production. Always stacking probes up is not a good thing. It's okay in the beginning, but something that he will want to watch in the future. Gas is complete now, and guys should be getting into that as soon as possible. There's the gas being mined by Isis, and he's also got a tech lab on the way. Another supply depot going to be spotting in the corner. The probe is trying to hide over here. We'll see if Isis does notice that. And there's his scout headed into Nova's base. He's timed this out pretty well, knowing that the first stalker will not be out until about the, 4-minute mark. So there's the cybernetics core coming up, and over here Nova's still scouting around the inside of his base, finally chrono boosting out a couple of probes. A Reaper is on the way. Did I tell him to go Reapers first? I don't quite remember. I guess I may have told him to go Reapers into Ghosts, which is a really bad build, actually. There's another barracks coming up, and somebody's got to have killed that probe. I don't know where it is. There's the probe continuing to scout the inside of Ice's base. So I guess he didn't notice that the probe was still there. And there's the Reaper going to be able to clean up that one probe. And yeah, I guess I take that back. I did tell him to go Reapers into Ghosts, because I think I now remember seeing that he was trying to do some damage. We'll see if he's able to do any, as clearly I do not remember the details of this game at all. There's another 50 energy coming up on that command center. We'll be able to drop a mule real soon. Nova building a couple of those stalkers right now. He is rallying them into his base in anticipation of this one Reaper headed up into his main, and we'll see if he's able to do any amount of damage here. The two stalkers positioned quite well, actually. So Isis is going to try to hop in from this backside, and it looks like that stalker will be able to take a couple of shots at that Reaper. And oh no, that Reaper does get taken out, but more Reapers on the way for Isis, because that is absolutely the correct response to be having here, and he's got one Marauder. I was trying to convince him not to build that. I think I remember saying something to him about that. Told him that Marauders are actually absolutely terrible against Protoss, and there's a cancel on some building. Another gateway on the way, a Robo now coming up for Nova. Still not spending that chrono boost. I really don't like how he's not making probes. He needs to continue making those probes unless he's banking on some big one-base push in the immediate future, which is not in the immediate future because that Robo is still on the way. Scan going down to see exactly what's up. More Reapers on the way for Isis, and not producing for a bit here. Should be seeing a command center coming up. There's a command center on the way for Isis, and there's the first Ghost Academy. And when I say first, I mean Nukes. So there's over here Nova warping in those warp gates at the 7-minute mark, and there's the 3 Reapers out in the field now, 3 at a time coming out of those 3 barracks back at home. Command center will be headed out for the natural expansion real soon. Bunker and additional supply depots coming up at the front, walling it off against any sort of zealots. So that's a good thing to be doing over here, especially with the bunker backing it up. We'll be able to take shots at those stalkers if they try to come up to the front. And over here, Nova warping into more and more stalkers. Ice is building up quite a number of Reapers right now. He's got 7 out on the field. Another one just did pop out, and he's got cloaking on the way for those ghosts. And we should be seeing ghosts coming out for Ice's real soon. And there's that pack of Reapers headed across the field. I guess there's only 6. And over here, more stalkers up on the edge. Nova doing a pretty good job against this build over here. He's only got his observer now on the way, and Isis is going to be forced to back away from that ledge. And I remember telling him to try to check up the front, but I don't think he actually does it. He just positions his Reapers over here to see exactly what's going on. And basically, as of this moment, Nova is being forced to stay inside of his base. With the threat of all of those Reapers coming in and one-shotting these buildings. Actually, I kind of like this build now. And over here, ghosts are now on the way. Cloaking is finishing up, and the first engineering bay is coming up. And there's the Reapers trying to do some damage up at the front. Looks like trying to pick off a couple of those sentries. A scan going down. Oh no, sentries going down. Force fields coming down. But it looks like that will be playing against those zealots. Another stalker being warped in, and Ice is going to be moving in here trying to shoot down a couple of these buildings and pylons, and probes. There's the stalkers surrounding from all sides, killing off all of those Reapers. That was an expensive investment there. And now Nova will be free to move out, especially without any Reapers to harass. So I guess as part of this build, you'd want to keep those Reapers alive as long as possible, keep the threat of killing off a ton of probes alive for as long as possible. And there's the Ghost Academy with the finished cloaking, and more ghosts coming out for Ices. And he's going to be hard pressed to hold this push off because I told him he can only build ghosts, and all of these units are headed across the field. He sees it now with his SCV, and this is the moment when he was sitting there saying that he probably is not going to be able to clean this up. 2 additional bunkers coming up in the rear. Too bad you can't EMP out of those bunkers. Looks like he's going to continue to throw up supply depots up at the front. A Nexus is now on the way for Nova. And I believe Isis thinks he's going to push, but it looks like there's a Nexus on the way for our Protoss player, and that is quite a ways behind Isis' command center. And over here come the stalkers up at the front. There's that one Marauder, and the SCV's coming up to the front to repair as well. The Ghost loading them up, and it looks like the Marauder is being forced to retreat. A couple of these supply depots will fall, and a nuclear missile is also on the way for Isis. He does get supply blocked, so he's going to be hard pressed to make more units as well. The Ghost coming up to the front, trying to shoot down at these Immortals. How much damage does a Ghost do anyways? Looks like it's 10 damage, so the Immortal Shields will not be activated, but it does not matter as Ghosts shoot so slowly. And there's the missile turret coming up for Atlas 1, and there's the Observer checking up at the front. Nova does not notice that there's a missile turret, and he will not pull that Observer back, so that Observer will soon fall to this one missile turret. Isis Ghost moving out to check things out. He's building a lot of supply depots. They just finished, so he will be able to continue building units. Another command center is also on the way with that glut of money that he built up due to not being able to build anything for a while. There's the factory floating up to the front. He will not be needing that. And there's another barracks coming up. More and more ghosts pouring out of these barracks. So his army is going to be absolutely tiny. Nova over here sitting back with a couple of stalkers as well as a couple of Immortals. He's got another Observer on the way. He's also getting the +1 ground weapons at a forge. He's getting up a cannon in the rear as well. Looks like a Ghost cloaked trying to move in through the front, but